What's up, everybody, and welcome. And if you watched our first episode, welcome back to Podcasting with Power. I'm Zachary Davis. That's Jordan Carlson. Jordan, we're live. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on podcast services everywhere, except the ones I haven't done yet. But no one's on those, right? Like, if you're not on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, I'll get to you. But I got to be honest, you're not hearing this anyway, right? So,
all right.
Yeah.
Wait, so I'm live right now.
We're not live, but the podcast is live.
I was like, man, we spin out.
Yeah, we are live. There are 100,000 people watching you right now.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but the podcast is out there.
Yeah.
We've done this before, but it's been a long time. It's exciting. Yes. When I saw it on my Spotify, and I was able to subscribe to it, I was like, this is fun. I took a screenshot,
Yeah, I had the fun moment where I was like, I'll subscribe to myself.
Right.
Nice. Boom.
So I will say, compared to how we did this the first time, I am not any better at doing this part of it, but I feel like we look and sound so much better than we did.
Yeah.
That was a nice touch. I was like, you know what? Technology's come a long way. We're looking good. We're sounding good.
I mean, we're looking older, but yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Looking older all the time, but that's just how it goes. But since we did that first episode, what have you been playing? What's Jordan Carlson been up to?
So I've been playing Twilight Princess, actually, which I hate saying because pretty expected, but
sure.
Yeah, I actually picked up from a file that, and I don't remember if I bat this up at all last week, but I picked up a file that I had put down a long time ago because I was thinking about, I was like, oh, I could get a fresh start, but I'm sitting there thinking I gotta collect all these fucking bugs.
Yeah, the beginning of that game does kind of take a while, right? I can see why you'd want to just jump right in.
So I'm kind of a little bummed out as to how some of the stuff that I'm already past. But I'm at the part where I'm restoring power to the Dominion Rod.
Oh, cool. Oh, you're way in there.
Yeah, I was pretty far. So I just did that. So I can't remember now exactly where I'm headed, but I literally just restored the power to it. So that's where I left off, I think, yesterday. So cool. I don't know, it's more of relaxing kind of situations for me. So I've just been cranking it up every night and knocking out about an hour or so of whatever I can.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, my roof.
Yeah. Which version of Twilight Princess are you playing here?
Wii
U. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have not gone back to that one since we played it, when it came out.
Dude, it's cool.
I guess I haven't played Twilight Princess at all since then, but I remember really liking it.
I read Twilight Princess. I mean, man, I love Twilight Princess HD. I guess I'll say I don't have any issues with the GameCube one. I know that's going to be coming to I don't know what to call it, Virtual Console, Nintendo Switch Online.
They just rebranded it actually as Nintendo Classics.
Nintendo Classics.
It was Switch Online, and that was confusing. And
so wait, hold on. Can we talk about that for a minute? Because you can access that from two different places, and it's odd. You can go into the GameCube thing.
Yeah.
And then you can also go on Nintendo Online, and it's a cool, a more sleek menu from there. Have you done that?
Can you launch right into the game?
Yeah.
That's interesting, because I know because we were talking about those icons last week, and when they require you to play a game before you can get them, they do that. So it'll be you need to play Super Metroid to get the icon. Do you want to play it? And it just jumps right in. You skip the whole game selection, all that.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I didn't know it did that.
Yeah, check it out, because I mean, the menu was sleek. I was like, this is where I want to. I don't like having the GameCube. I don't know why I'm like this, but when I have the Switch, up, I don't like that Super Nintendo or Game Boy Advance, or it's just one of my tiles. I like to see the games I've been playing. I don't want to see GameCube. I want to go somewhere else and find it. I don't know, it's something about me that I'm just like that. But
I'm totally with you. Ever since the Wii, I liked having those channels there, and it's you've got Super Mario RPG and whatever. It's cool seeing the actual game itself.
Yeah.
I just saw a Reddit thread that was just kind of asking people with how big GameCube games are, is Nintendo at some point just going to let us download them individually?
Dude.
Because eventually that app is going to be pretty big.
Yeah.
Right now it's got 4 games on it, but 5 years from now, who knows where we're going to be at.
See, that's what I want. I want it like that. I want it like on the Wii. I mean, you were kind of alluding to it, but like on the Wii, you download Donkey Kong Country 3, and now that's on my channel. That's what I want, ultimately.
Sure.
You know, I have access to it. Just put it on my fucking tile. Let me see the cover. You know, I love that.
I know that's what it's all about. I like having that art there.
Yeah.
And that's not to say I like how the apps are presented once you do open them up and it has everything there and you're like, wow, this is a great little collection of NES games.
Yeah.
But it'd be cool to see in line with then, all the modern stuff I'm playing, all the other consoles. Like,
it's a little bit of personality. You kind of, it's like my MySpace top 5. You know what I mean? Like I'm going through there. He's like, oh man, he really likes Mario Kart World, but yeah, during was in there can have some Game Boy. You know, like, right. That's what I want. I love that.
Yeah. Well, and it's weird to not see games that should be there but might be released in another way. Like what I've been playing this week, which is Tony Hawk 3+4. I would love to see that in line with the other GameCube era games, right? But it doesn't work with like that.
Do you wish it was just Tony Hawk 3 and then Tony Hawk 4?
A little bit, yeah. But I am not going to get too much into this game. I think we want to talk about it next week when you've had a chance to play.
Fair.
But I'll get the important part out of the way for anyone that might be curious about picking it up before we get to that episode, and that is it runs great on Switch 2.
Nice.
I have not had any crashes. I can't really think of any frame drops I had. It's smooth. You know,
that's good news.
The resolution, I think, is, and I'd have to actually look at another version to compare it, but it's a little softer than I remember like 1+2 being on the Xbox.
Okay. Did you go docked or were you handheld?
I've done both. I probably played more handheld. When I texted you about it that first day, I had only played docked.
Okay.
And with the Pro Controller, and I thought that was cool. But yeah, most of my play since then has been upstairs on the couch playing it handheld.
Is it weird that like how far away my hands are? I'm gonna be like.
So the only thing that's weird, and I don't know, I assume as a Tony Hawk Pro yourself, you probably do you use the control stick or do you use the D-pad?
I use the control stick. Yeah.
Okay, so I use the D-pad.
What?
That doesn't work so well on the Joy-Con.
Wait, what?
I just think it's a little more precise.
Okay. Oh, well, wait, hold on. Did you play, excuse me, did you play Tony Hawk on a Sony console?
Well, no, so I didn't really play much of these when we were young outside of like, with you guys, because I didn't have any of the console Tony Hawks.
Okay. So I was going to say, because like maybe that's like just because it feels like, oh shoot, actually no, I used a joystick. I'm crazy. I don't know. one and two are really the ones that on the Xbox, like with the remake, that's really where I have put most of my Tony Hawk time into. Okay.
So I'm coming from that, and it's just having the buttons split up on the Joy-Con makes it kind of weird. So anytime you're trying to do a grab that's like a diagonal, it's like it doesn't work, right? I'm trying to do a Japan and I can't do it. Not reliably.
Get my Benihana out.
Exactly. Yeah. I did that by accident yesterday. I was like, I don't want Benihana. Like
I'm trying to Japan.
Right. But yeah, so we'll get into Tony Hawk next week when we've both had a chance to play it. But if you're curious about picking it up on Switch 2, I would recommend it. So, as I mentioned at the top, our show is officially live. If you haven't already, check out our first episode on video on either Spotify or YouTube. Those links will be in the description. You can find the audio version on the podcast app of your choice. We're starting to pop up on social media, so if you'll see Podcasting with Power on Instagram and Blue Sky and Threads and Facebook and more as we get to that. Those links will also be in the description, probably as a link tree. And as we mentioned last week, these early episodes are important for the show's growth, so we appreciate you liking, commenting, and subscribing to the show wherever you choose to consume it, and give us feedback. We want the show to be as good as it can be, right? So let us know what we can do. We might do some of it, we might not, but it's really up to us when it comes down to it, right? Let's jump in to the Nintendo news this week. I should have this number written down, but I don't. It's five news stories. One's a twofer though. But yeah, 5 news stories for you. So number 1, a new Nintendo magazine is seeking your support on Kickstarter right now. This is from Ollie Reynolds at Nintendo Life. Ninty Media, the team behind magazines such as the Vita Lounge Switch Player, which I've checked out, and Ninty Fresh has launched a Kickstarter campaign for their new venture called Ninsight. With the first issue shipping globally in August, Ninsight aims to provide the latest Nintendo-themed news, reviews, and talking points in a premium 80 to 100-page magazine with 0 advertisements. At the time of writing, over half the Kickstarters, it's in pounds, £5,000 goal has been achieved with 16 days remaining. According to the overview, the move to Ninsight was due to rising costs in maintaining production for Switch Player, which I think was monthly. This is just me talking. I think was monthly. Back to the article, moving over to a new model which focuses on fewer releases and higher quality content will hopefully result in a more viable business long term. So what do you think about a new high quality Nintendo magazine being out there?
Huge. That's big.
That's cool.
I love Nintendo physical media. I can't point in the right direction. My whole wall over here is old Nintendo Powers.
Okay, cool.
Just in frames. But like, I had to Google this while you're talking about it because I just wanted to see some of these photos. And I mean, like, they have those 2-page full pictures.
Yeah.
They're talking about what they want to do. I love that. I mean, like, I'm always looking for like coffee table literature, which is, I don't know if you want to call it this, but like,
sure.
And not just with the intention of throwing it on and never looking at it, but like, it's so much fun looking at stuff like this. It gives me that same feeling of like, do you ever go to the store to like look at stuff just to look at it because it makes you happy?
Yeah, all the time.
This kind of stuff like scratches that itch for me. I love like physical media.
I do too. And I'm very excited to see this happening. Like I said, Switch Player was a very high quality product. And so it's nice to see that maybe that business wasn't working, but this works better for these guys. And I wanted to include it here in the show because I want, if people are listening and interested in this, go contribute to it, make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to. I actually am going to. So it says they're looking to launch or have a copy as soon as August.
Global first issue shipping globally in August.
Oh my gosh! So you'll get Simply Pledge for a PDF copy. So you get a PDF copy. Standard edition, you'll get a print combo. You get a print and a digital copy. That's actually very cool. An enamel pin badge.
I know that one's pretty cool. And this will all be up on the screen while we're talking about it, so that people can see it. But
cover poster and art print. Ooh, your name in the magazine. That like brings me back because remember when we subscribe, they put you're like sending them like pictures you drew, and they're like, "Oh, John from Michigan drew walls."
Right.
And then N64 limited to just 64 backers. You'll get everything in the premium tier. Section of art prints. Special numbered thank you card with your name and image in the back of the magazine. That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah. This reminds me, I have an idea for a Nintendo Power themed segment for us to do from time to time on the show that we will talk about off air sometime. But yeah, I just wanted to spend a little time on that. Story number 2. Nintendo is ending its cost-saving Switch game vouchers. This is Emma Roth at The Verge. Nintendo is discontinuing vouchers for Switch games. The program, which lets Switch Online members save money on digital games, will come to an end on January 30th, 2026. Though players will no longer be able to purchase vouchers after this date, vouchers will still expire 1 year after they're purchased. Nintendo first introduced Switch game vouchers in 2019. I didn't realize it was that long ago. Allowing Switch Online members to purchase a pair of vouchers for $99.98 and redeem them for 2 eligible games. And then it goes on talking about some of the games that have been on there. Have you utilized these Switch Online vouchers?
No, to be completely honest with you, I don't even really I don't know too much about it. I just know I knew it was a thing. I've never used them because this is not the same thing as where you buy games and acquire the points and spend those. That's not the same thing.
No, there actually is a little footnote at the end of this article that Nintendo did discontinue the gold points load to a program earlier. I just used the rest of mine, like the last little bit. I had like 45 cents worth the other day. I was buying Hades and it was like,
is it gone now? Because I have a lot of coins.
Yeah, you're not earning coins anymore. I don't know when those expire, so make sure you take a look at that.
I'll use them tomorrow.
But okay, good. But yeah, the Switch Online vouchers, if you buy digital games on Switch, digital like full retail games, it's the best way to do it. You buy these 2 vouchers for like $100, and this is all in American money. $100. Typically, Switch games retail for 60. Tears of the Kingdom, though, was even more than that at 70. And so you're right there. You're saving $20. If you can manage to buy those vouchers with eShop credit you've already got on a discount, like I do from Costco, then you're getting them even cheaper. So like in 2023, I bought a set of 2 I spent $90 on the eShop credit at Costco, bought the voucher, then got Tears of the Kingdom and Pikmin 4 for $90. Like, that's great. You know, I'm going to buy them digital anyway. And then I did it later that year for Mario Wonder and Mario RPG. So it's a great way to buy digital games. And what's cool is, so they've put like Pokemon Legends Z to A, ZA, whatever we want to call it. That is a Switch game that has a Switch 2 edition, right?
Yeah.
And you can use a voucher on the Switch version and then buy the upgrade. So what my plan is to use one of these vouchers on that, Metroid Prime 4, and then just buy the upgrades and still be, you know, below what they retail for.
That's not bad. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I think in that use case, like that's probably something that I would do, but I'm so sporadic with games, like, because I feel like when Nintendo has releases, it's not like I'm getting 2 bangers within like a couple of months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that'd be great, but like it wouldn't really be for me. But in that instance where it's like I want to buy the Switch one or the negative Switch version and then buy the upgrade, that makes sense. I'd do that, or in an instance like that, or maybe even like Pokemon Violet and Scarlet. Like I would do that. That would make sense for me, because if I want to own both, you know, that's probably the only time. But
sure.
Why exactly are they ending it though? Is it just
so this program I think it comes down to how much Switch 2 games cost. Because this program doesn't include any Switch 2 games. Like I said, the ones that have upgrades, it's just the Switch 1 edition. You can then buy the upgrade separate. So I think we might see this down the road priced differently to, you know, kind of accommodate that $70, $80 price point that Switch 2 games are going to have. But, you know, these still will work. You can buy them through this coming January, and then they'll work for another year. So, you know, I was more willing to like buy the 2 when I only had one game in mind, like last year when I knew stuff was still coming. At this point, it's like after Pokemon and Metroid, I don't know what Switch 1 games are coming down the line. So you're right. If you want to go back and get something, that's great. But, you know, it worked out for me last year. I bought Paper Mario. Then they announced Echoes of Wisdom. And I was like, cool, easy. You know, that's an easy voucher pickup.
all right?
So, yeah. So hopefully we see these again. Because like I said, they're a great way to save a little money on first-party Switch games.
Yeah.
So for this next one, Jordan, in the doc, there is a link to the article. And if you haven't already seen this, I think you should take a look, okay? Because it is a very visual thing, and I'll have the image up on screen for us. Story number 3. Fans think Smash Bros. 64 is coming to Switch Online thanks to months-old blurry backgrounds. This is Ethan Gotch at Kotaku. Almost 4 years after coming to the service, some of the Nintendo 64's most iconic games are still missing from the Switch Online and Expansion Pack retro library. Now, fans think Super Smash Bros. And more are headed to Switch soon thanks to some very blurry teases in a YouTube video that appeared back in May. That's when Nintendo announced a new CRT filter feature for the N64 games on the platform. Which, by the way, have you used that? No. It looks really good.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never really been into that. I've never done that. Like, I have a lot of devices that do stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think that I would imagine the crazy thing right now is that I'm talking like it's not available to me. Like I could just go try this right now.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, like, because to me, I feel like when I'm playing a game on Nintendo Switch Online, whatever, it's gonna look pretty good. It's gonna look pretty good.
Yeah.
On my TV. It's when I plug my N64 into my TV that I might look into other means for physical hardware to add the scan lines. That's when I would do that. But when it's already kind of like upscaled or whatever it's going through the console, like I'm not likely to add the scan lines in myself.
Right. I think the native, you know, rendering we're so used to at this point that like I played Star Fox 64 over the weekend, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But you know, that I'm just so used to how that looks. I tried it with this filter, and it's cool. And if maybe this had been around closer to when we were playing games on CRTs, and it looked decent, then maybe I would prefer that. But you're right. I'm so used to just the polygons as they are now that
just rough.
That's
just
kind of the way
there.
I prefer it.
But
back to the story. For about 2 seconds, right in the middle of the video, we get a snapshot of the Switch Online settings menu appearing overlaid over what is presumably the N64 library in each game's respective box art. Some players recently went sleuthing through the potato quality pixels and think they see new games that aren't currently available. I won't read this whole quote here, but as you can see on the screen right now, these games include Donkey Kong 64, Forsaken 64, Glover, and Super Smash Brothers. I'm excited for 2 of those, if it's real. And then I have seen people think that maybe one of the other ones is Rayman 2. Jordan, how do you feel about discovering it this way? Having someone go back and kind of overlay the images, apply the blur, and matching it?
We've discovered games like this before. We've totally done this before. The community we're back at it again. This is something that we've seen, and this is something that has come true for us. Like, we have seen this happen.
Yeah.
You know, how I feel about it though, I'm curious. 2 of those games you're excited for, is one of them Glover?
No. So
Come on.
One, I didn't realize Glover is available on modern platforms. It was like a jump scare. I was looking through the Xbox store the other day, and Glover was just there. I was like, oh my God. I haven't thought of that game. Which, it's funny, because I was thinking about this. Glover does deserve to be there. Because as low quality as Glover is, and I'm going to say it, it's low quality. It was everywhere at that time, right? It was, there were ads on every piece of print media there was. There was a Glover ad. You know, I can see it in my head right now.
Yeah.
And it should be there. It is one of those iconic N64 games.
It was like a physics or a playground. You were like, no, I will not be using the bouncy ball. I will be using the barren ball because I need something heavy. Like, there's a lot of thought in that. Like, I like that game. It was really wonky going back and playing it, but and eerie too. By the way, I don't know how long it's been since you played it, but it was
Does it have that N64 fog kind of thing going on?
It had that. It had very much like the backrooms feeling, because it's so bare. So you go back and you're in these different atmospheres or levels or whatever, and you're like, this is so weird.
Yeah. Okay.
And the music too, it's random ambience, just noises, and it was creepy, but it's so charming because of it, and and having the choice between all the different balls and stuff. I had a great time playing it, so I hope that's true. Okay. I would love to see it come back. I'll
give it a shot. It was a rental game for me.
Oh.
And I mean, this is before I even moved to Michigan, so I'm 8. Right,
Blockbuster special.
And I played it for a week, and that was my experience with Glover. I am not really familiar with Forsaken 64. I've seen the box art before. That's kind of where that ends for me. But I think the meat of this, of course, is Super Smash Brothers, and more importantly to me, Donkey Kong 64.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one for sure. We mentioned that
last week. That's I love that game. We were the right age when that game came out. That I think we appreciate it.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to me, the timing of this, right? Because you would think you'd want to get that out before Banaza comes out next week. And you would think, we've got GameCube games coming. You've got to put Smash 64 out before Melee.
Yeah.
And I've kind of been thinking they're not going to do Melee because they haven't done Smash 64.
Yeah.
But now if this is on the table, I think we are getting Melee at some point. It's going to be a while.
I don't know. I feel like you can't really, it's hard to, there's very Nintendo things to do, and I feel like that's one of the things that they don't think about very hard. They're just whatever. Kill 64.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'd be happy to see it, but am I going to spend a lot of time playing Smash 64? Probably not. I mean, I loved it at the time, but if you put Melee on it, I'll put some time on Melee.
I'm with you. I would run through Smash 64, but I'm not going to spend the time I would with it, that I might with Melee. But DK64, 100%. I would go back and do right up until you got to get those rare coins at the end and play Jetpack and all that, because that sucks. No one wants to do that. You can almost 100% that game, and then we're done.
I don't know.
But I like it. I like that there's maybe more N64 stuff on the horizon. Those two are the the ones where I'm like, that should be there. They're first party Nintendo games. They're both solid games.
My question is, I had to Google Forsaken 64 because I'm not familiar either, and I'm looking at what it looks like, and I'm gonna need to look at this very potato video that everyone's talking about here with this because I don't know how they made sense of that one. So very interesting. Yeah.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm gonna jump to story number 4. All right. Donkey Kong Bonanza exists because Yoshiaki Koizumi asked the Mario Odyssey team for a 3D Donkey Kong game. This is by Rebecca Valentine at IGN. And this story we're going to do as a twofer. It's 2 articles, but they kind of go together. When Donkey Kong Bonanza was first announced, speculation immediately set in that it was being made by the same team that made Super Mario Odyssey. That turned out to be true, which led to further speculation that the game had originated as Super Mario Odyssey DLC or a sequel, only later going on to star Donkey Kong. That part, we've just learned, is not true. In an interview with IGN, Donkey Kong Bonanza producer Kenta Motokura, who also served as director on Super Mario Odyssey, shared Bonanza's origin story. As he explained, it was Nintendo executive Yoshiaki Koizumi who approached the Odyssey team and asked them to explicitly, not too explicitly, asked them explicitly to consider working on a 3D Donkey Kong game. I think that's interesting, right? That was the move even back then. Like they finish Odyssey and they're just, he comes in and he's like, you're making Donkey Kong.
Where's Donkey Kong?
Right. It wasn't even like a discussion. It's like, you need to do this. I mean, and we've talked about Donkey Kong before. We will talk about it again.
Yeah.
Do you feel like this makes sense, kind of it being DK's turn? Like, we got a great Mario Odyssey. Now it's DK's turn to do something. Then we'll get Mario again.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of riding the Donkey Kong train right now. I mean, like, they just did all that stuff at Universal for Donkey Kong.
Yeah, that's true.
Obviously, he was a huge piece of the Mario movie when that came out. So, I mean, it feels like it makes good sense. So, I mean, like, and I'm about it because, I mean, when Odyssey came out, I don't know why I was, because when you think about it really hard, I don't know why I'm like Mario equals Donkey Kong. I mean, like, I guess actually now I'm saying out loud, I feel like an idiot, but this started together, but but I mean, I was thinking about Donkey Kong 64 and how cool that would be to have a newer version of that. And even since last week when we talked, the more I've thought about it, it's pretty similar. At least it seems pretty similar. So, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty pumped about it.
So that's exciting. I'm really excited for this one. The second half of this is another article, also by Rebecca Valentine at IGN, and it is titled, "Like Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza was originally a Switch 1 game, Nintendo confirms." Donkey Kong Bonanza, launching next week, is a Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive, but that wasn't always the case. According to the game's developers, it was originally conceived as a Nintendo Switch 1 title. Speaking to IGN in a new interview, producer Kenta Murdakua told us that the game began its development cycle on Nintendo Switch 1. However, as the team developed the voxel technology that lies beneath Bonanza's destruction mechanic, it became clear that the best implementation of that tech would be on Nintendo Switch 2.
Yeah, it's like the entire team didn't play Pokemon Violet or Scarlet. It's like
right, yeah, and you're right. You see it, and you look at that level of world destruction, and you're like, "This,
it's not happening, folks. That's not
just in your hands."
No, dude, you go. Yeah. I mean, spoiler, you go through the center of the map and fucking Violet, and your whole Switch doesn't know what to do with itself. Like, there's no way. I feel like that had to have been the only pivoting point. Was they were probably planning on not having it, right? Like, you'd have to imagine, like, that just wasn't on the table until
maybe, or they just made the decision very early on, like, what we want to do just won't work. Like, we need the next thing. Because we learned, recently that Mario Kart World, as this mentions, kind of was the same thing. Started as a Switch 1 game, and then I think they had trouble with the open world and the 24-player stuff, and which this article does mention at the end. And so it had to go to Switch 2.
Yeah.
Like, they would have to make pretty big compromises. So, I'm cool with it. I want it to be the best game it can be, so this feels like the right move.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely.
Like, I feel like they really fought for DK here. They're like, you're putting him in the game, you're making it cool, you're putting it on Switch 2.
Well, dude, I'll tell you, my bar is really high for Pokemon at the end of this year, so I'm just hoping that they kind of follow suit. I hope we get a really good game. You know, like I would wait longer for any game if I knew that it was going to dramatically affect the way that it plays, you know? So yeah, I'm into it. Love it.
Pokemon's an interesting case because it is still going to be on Switch One.
Yeah.
You know, it'll be on both. So it does kind of have to still play by the Switch One rules. Whereas this is just like, forget that. Like we're going all in.
Which do you think that's odd that they're making that choice? I feel like to me, because we can say how we feel, right? I just that feels super greedy to me. Like they're like, we don't need them to have a Switch 2. We need to sell fucking games. Like we want to sell the whole like the player base. Where like, you know, with Donkey Kong, they're like, you know what? Like we want this to be a really good game. This is the hardware that supports it. I'm really sorry. I mean, I imagine them saying sorry because they feel like nice people.
Yeah, they do.
You know, they're like, you're gonna have to play on the Switch too, but it's because it's gonna be so good. And Pokemon's like, no way, man. You can play wherever you want. I don't really care. Just buy it and play. It's gonna be great. You know?
Yeah, I mean, Pokemon is kind of on a different level sales wise, though.
Well,
like they know what they're doing. They know. They're like, we can sell 20 million easy.
But doesn't it kill you though? Because
of course,
dude, it's like Arceus. I don't know if you're one of the people that kiss the car. The other one. What's the other one?
No, it's Arceus. Let's come on. Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm not going to entertain that,
dude. Arceus, and then like Violet and Scarlet. You had these two different games, so similar, but like just different enough. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And like Arceus was so good. I need. You call it ZA or Z?
Well, I called it ZA earlier, but yeah, ZA is fine.
I'm into ZA. Let's roll ZA. So I hope ZA like carries that torch. It's not going to though, because like we said, they're just different people. But I'm gonna buy it because I'm an idiot and I'm gonna play Pokemon because I want to. This is how I go.
Yeah, I'm excited for this game, but I don't think it's gonna be the one that like makes Pokemon step up.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Gen 10, when that comes maybe next year, it's the 30th anniversary of Pokemon next year. Like that feels like the spot where we switch to Switch 2 and we really make it sing.
I sure hope so. All in all, though, I like that move. Move to Switch 2, play it the way that it needs to be players. I'm excited for Donkey Kong. Gonna be good.
I got one more story for you. Story number 5, and I threw this one in mostly for you. 18 months and $200,000 later, modder gives Switch Lite OLED and HDMI out, and a Switch 2 OLED mod is next. This is Damian McFerrin at Nintendo Life. We've covered Takeudan's work in the past, specifically the excellent Super 5 OLED screen mod for the Switch Lite. This upgrade gives the smallest Switch a far superior display to the one it ships with, but the modder wasn't content to stop there. He also has been working on another update which introduces support for HDMI-Out. It has not been an easy journey. As he points out on social media, quote, 18 months of R&D, just as many failed revisions, and more than $200,000 in cost. Super 5 OLED HDMI is finally done. This is the first fully assembled device in the world. You can't imagine how relieved I am that it works. This was the most difficult project I've ever worked on. The modder goes on to explain the mental anguish this particular venture has caused him. Quote, I can't describe how soul-crushing it was to go through so many failed revisions. After the third failure, I was hopeful every subsequent version would be successful, but they weren't. And when you do fail, you are looking at a minimum of 2 weeks to try again. And I'll include the video here. As you can see in the video above, plugging the Switch Lite into the external screen automatically turns off the console's main display and instantly sends the image to the connected display. Sadly, it's not possible to have the image on both screens at the same time, as Takeudan says the signal, quote, wasn't stable. He also reveals that it's unlikely to recoup its cost, this overall project, and that his next project is going to be an OLED mod for Switch 2.
Wow.
Jordan, you feel like a guy who would want an OLED mod for any Switch.
Yeah, I would. I'm into it. And I love how much, I mean, this guy poured his whole heart and wallet into this project, and that is awesome. It's wild too. Like, I'm really into modding, and then like people don't understand how much work that is. You know,
Absolutely.
like how much planning this had to take. I mean, clearly, you know, just spending so much money and time on this thing, but it's really cool. I'm really curious to kind of get the details of like the different screens that he used, but I just love that. I mean, that just tells me people are playing around with the hardware. And I mean, like, is it kind of silly to do it on a Switch Lite, maybe, but like it's also just really cool that he did it,
Yeah.
But if the Switch 2, I'd be too afraid, man. I don't want to ruin my Switch 2 right now.
I remember when he had the Switch Lite OLED breakthrough. It's cool that he got the HDMI-Out working though. That's really neat.
It is. I feel like it's going to become a more readily available mod. I mean, you always see this kind of stuff happen, and then they'll develop like kits for people, like so the common man can. And I'm lumping myself into there too because I'm not familiar with like Switch internals, to be honest. Like,
I have no idea where to start.
No, but the most I modded my original Switch, which this isn't even modding, it's just taking the internals out of my Joy-Con so I can put cool shells on them. You know what I mean? Like that was the most I did. But if they made, some kind of, because like we know Nintendo hardware is always going to be popular. People are going to be shopping this like for quite some time. If they made kits that you could buy to make that kind of thing easy. The Switch Link's awesome. It's just like it can't output. If it could, I'm into it. Like that with a cool handheld, I don't know.
You're right. It'll laugh because you walk into a retro game shop now and you'll see Game Boys of all form factors, with IPS screens in them, backlit screens. Like that's a thing now in 2025. So you're right. In 20 years, we'll just be seeing OLED Switch Lites.
Yeah.
For $100.
And I'm into it, man. I like it. I'd buy one for sure.
Well, that is all the Nintendo news I've got for you this week. So let's dive into one of our major topics, one of the headline topics, and that is our review. And I use that term very loosely, right? Yeah. Of Mario Kart World. So this was easily the premier launch title for the Switch 2. I think most of us out there, if we have a Switch 2, we have Mario Kart World. It probably came with it. What are your kind of surface level thoughts of, well, first, how much Mario Kart World have you played?
I would really love for my Switch to tell me. I think it's still like, honestly, I don't know what it'll sometimes say like for a little while, like it's been a long time.
Yeah. But I mean, do you feel like you've kind of experienced everything, or do you feel like there's still more to discover?
No, I've gold cupped everything. I'm maxed out in that way. All my tours, I'm up to 150cc. I got mirror mode. Like I'm locked in.
Sure. Same spot for me.
The only thing I haven't got everything of is the outfits, I think.
Yeah, I'm still working on that.
Yeah, and like, I mean, I'm trying. The thing is, like, I probably could have all of them, but I don't want to like Google too much.
I haven't done that. You're right, because we absolutely could. We could be like, what food corresponds to this, and do all that. Right.
So like, I could probably figure it out, but no. But I put a lot of time into it. Yep, I put a lot of time into it.
Okay, cool. And kind of your surface level thoughts, like I said, I've played sounds like kind of a comparable amount to you. Do you like Mario Kart World? Where does it stack in the Mario Kart, hierarchy for you?
It is way up there. Is it weird that like I'm stuttering because I don't know? I'm putting it out there now how I feel about my top favorite Mario Kart.
Okay, you had a lot of love for Double Dash last week. So
I still do.
Would you say
I still do.
Top? Okay.
Double Dash is near and dear, but Mario Kart World, I think I do like it more than 8. I think I do.
Okay. And
the reason being is I'll get into the things I don't like. So let me just pump its tires for a minute. I like how strategic it is, and I'm not talking about grinding and all that stuff, but like I'm talking about like the drifting mechanics. I'm talking about how they've changed the items, and I'm talking about the wall riding. Okay, that, which I understand in some cases involves the need for the grinding mechanic, but the wall riding and the shortcuts and like the tricking off of things, it's Mario Kart has not brought that level of like skill and availability for that kind of thing before.
It's very technical. You're right. And different Mario Karts have had different techniques, snaking and things like that, but it's never been front and center. And in this game, it very much is. Like, you cannot win these cups at 150cc like you're talking about if you're not doing these things.
Right.
Because I definitely, when I started, I was like, and I think you had said this too, this one is hard. It is far and away probably the most difficult Mario Kart. I'm not counting, Super and Super Circuit. Like, those are hard because they're kind of janky and old, but like this is just hard. And yeah, I'm with you. I will go as far as to say I don't think I like it more than 8.
Ooh.
But I think so. 8 is my favorite, I think.
Okay.
7, 8. I like DS, but I know that that's not
Are you
really
back grinding?
No, I'm okay, but it is. I'm in a weird place with it because I think it'll be easier to have this opinion in 5-10 years when we're further away from it. I think where I am now, I'm like, I don't want to play 8, but I can recognize, I think that it's the better game, at least for me, the way I want to play Mario Kart. It's just, I'm kind of tired of 8, right? We've been playing it since 2014.
Yeah, it's been a long
So it's nice to have something new, and I like that. And I like a lot of the additions in World. I don't want anyone to mistake this for thinking I don't like Mario Kart World. I think Mario Kart World is an excellent, excellent game.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it's my favorite Mario Kart ever.
Okay, that's fair. That's totally fair. It's just that, like, they always do such a good job with incorporating the things that people really liked from the older versions. Yeah. And I feel like they got very creative. Like I kind of alluded to the item situation. They took the effects from some of the items and made them more strategic. I mean, like when we're talking like using the boo ride on, and now you can drive off road and it doesn't slow you down. Like that's awesome. It's those small things. And then I noticed like when you get hit by a shell, you're not down for so long.
No, but the lightning, I feel like kicks your ass every time. I hate it.
I feel like you're not small for long though with the lightning.
You're not small, but it stops everything. It's just it's disruptive. I don't like it.
It's very cool that it's only people in front of you.
And I'm sure we'll touch on this because I kind of want to break down like piece by piece, but I hate that unlocking some of the, like, let's call them NPC characters, not the main Mario cast, but like the weird crab that you can be. Cow. I hate that so much of that, if not, it's all of it, right, is locked behind an item. You need comic to come through and turn you into that thing. And that's crazy. That's a crazy way to do that.
No, it is. I based on, was it like Boo Theater? I don't remember all the names.
Boo Cinema. That's
Boo Cinema.
The tracks. I'm going to talk about that one.
I remember that for like 6-7 races in a row. I feel like trying to make that happen for me, and that sucks. Like it's irritating. I don't know. I was like really happy about it being a thing. Like it is very fun. Yeah. Wish they would have given them outfits, but it was very fun.
It should be in there. It just shouldn't be the only way to get those characters.
Right, yeah.
Because like the main Mario characters that you're unlocking by just completing cups and that, like, that's fine. You do a cup, you get Donkey Kong, that's cool. I guess this is probably the best place to talk about characters in the roster and all that. Do you like the roster of Mario Kart World?
Yes.
Sounds like it.
I do it. I was wondering the same thing, honestly, at first, and I do, but like, where's Diddy Kong? Where's Link again?
There is that Donkey Kong and Pauline both only have one unlockable costume. And so I think the thought is that sometime after Banaza comes out, we'll get some very Donkey Kong heavy DLC for this game. That maybe has some new tracks, some new costumes, and hopefully some Kongs.
Where's Link?
I don't know that we're getting into characters anytime soon,
But like, are they done with that? Like, it's just weird that like, it's almost like they got axe murdered and they're not coming back to play. Like, I don't really understand. It seemed like it was a thing now. It just felt like a thing now.
When we saw that this game was going to have 24-player races, which means you need more characters, I think the thought would be they're just going to expand that. We're going to put even more Nintendo characters in. And instead, they took them out and gave us Cow, which is
football guy. What's his name? I don't know.
Charge and Chuck.
Charge and Chuck. They gave us and then I can't remember. I'm making spacing on all the names, but
that's fine. You don't need to know Monty Mole, right?
Oh man. Don't tell me you're Googling right now.
I have the roster up here, but you're right. Like, Diddy Kong is a weird omission. I think there are some other Mario characters that maybe could have made the cut before some of these.
Yeah.
Like Swoop, the little bat, like
Oh,
Dad from Luigi's Mansion. Like, he is a great
dude.
Like, he's a distinct looking character. Where is he?
I don't know, but that's a really great idea. Give me dude. I like that. This is where I was going when I really decided. It's like we're all these extra characters. I really like Diddy Kong. I really like having. Yeah. I never played as Link. It's just like important to me that he's there. You know what I mean? Like, I just want him to be there. I'm not gonna be him, but he's there. That's the kind of shit that I like. It makes sense, and I hope that they do kind of branch it out. I have no idea when Link when. Maybe there's something we don't know. I don't know, and maybe there's a new version of him they want to bring in. Maybe.
That could be.
I love to think that's the thing. Wouldn't it be crazy if we finally got Wind Waker and Twilight Princess and they gave us Toon Link or something?
That would be cool. I do think we'll get more racers for this game.
Yeah. Whether
they're Mario characters, Nintendo characters, that remains to be seen, but I do think we're getting more. I don't think this is it.
Give me Tony Hawk.
Could happen. And then kind of in that same vein, though, like the costumes. Like, some of them are very fun. Some of them, though, I feel like I'm just kind of getting the same thing for multiple characters. Yeah. The pro racer outfits look the same for everybody. Yeah. Which is fine, but like, I'm not going to use any of them.
No. Why would I? I don't, dude. When I turned into like Pirate Boo, also, I was like, why? I don't know. I don't.
But like the one where Toad has the hamburger on his head.
I like that.
Cool. One. Like that. Love that.
I like the fast food worker Yoshi. I'm into it. I like it.
I really like that one.
Dude, with the zips on him. They're not wild. Okay, the first character that I noticed these costumes, I'm just racing because there I love is like they were there before you had them.
Yeah.
So like you were just racing and you're like, I'm trying to get first. I'm pretty zoned in, and then all of a sudden like flying carpet warrior goes by. Yeah. And you're like, what?
Yeah, because you haven't seen them yet, and then they go out. For me, that was Mariachi Waluigi, where I was just like, hang on, like I haven't seen that. I was like, is he new? What's going on?
Puts all out of the Baba. Just, I don't know.
Yeah,
I loved it.
So I like that they're here. Again, I think some of these characters are going to get more as we go. But I think it adds some variety because I generally stick with the same couple characters, so it's nice that I can skin them a different way.
Wait, who are you gonna use?
So Luigi's always a mainstay, but I find myself playing less with him. I'm playing a lot with Toad.
Oh.
And I like Lakitu.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's. What about you?
Boo. I'm always Boo, but sure. I'm gonna be vulnerable here and admit something that I don't want to admit, but I'm going to.
What could it be?
There's weight mechanics for the characters, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this game does probably
like heavy racers,
Yeah, they've always done that, but I don't think this game does a great job of explaining that compared to other ones.
I mean, like I do look at the stats for the carts and everything like that, but I noticed though when Connect would turn me into something else, and we're talking Boo right now, aka a ghost. Okay.
Sure.
And I'm admitting
it's King Boo. It's not regular Boo. Maybe should be in the game as one of the enemy characters, but he's not.
You're right. King Boo.
Yeah.
Maybe the crown's heavy as fuck. I don't know. But okay.
Yeah, it should be.
I'm just saying should be. Right. I'm just saying that like I'd get turned into something else and I was lighter and I was like, why is anyone lighter than me right now? I'm a ghost. Like what are we doing exactly? And I don't like that the characters have that. If you want to do Bowser and race as Bowser, let people be Bowser. Don't make him weigh more. It's fine. Just make the carts have their thing and let the racers be whatever.
I like that the characters have weight classes, but I think the way to do that is to offset it then with the cart you choose. And I feel like at best, when you have a heavy character who has, good top speed but bad acceleration, I think is how it typically works. You can with the right cart choice, you can really only get them to even out. Yeah. You can't change that stat.
Yeah.
And I wish you could.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. It is more strategic. And like when you think about it that way, it makes the game more fun. But I'm thinking like when I pick my Mario Kart character, it's not just like that's not a strategy move for me. It's because like I'm now representing myself with King Boo, and that's what I want. Don't make me have to choose somebody else because I can't be who I want to be. I just hate that, you know.
That's fair.
It'd be funny that if like you picked, you know, Bowser, like biker Bowser, like he's heavier now. His leathers are super thick.
Right. Yeah, that's true. So you had mentioned Boost Cinema.
Yeah.
What do you have any standout tracks? Like, how do you feel about the tracks overall?
I like them all. I do. We're okay. Hold on. Let me back up. I don't like them all. But I do really like. I wish I would have Googled, but I don't remember the names of all the tracks. But the ones that stuck out to me were the very first track you race in Super Mario Kart on Super Nintendo. With the blocks.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Love that.
Mario Circuit. Yeah.
So that was a huge one for me. Actually, that's one of the big ones that stuck out to me. And I like that they're throwing back and like you can pull out all those old courses and they kind of redid them and breathed new life into them.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. And I hate that this is going to be my answer, but my God, dude, Rainbow Road was amazing.
Rainbow Road was amazing.
Really is. That's the best Rainbow Road in quite some time.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's beautiful. It's fun.
The music.
So again, it's challenging. Like,
did the music get you? Honestly, walk me through your Rainbow Road experience because mine was magical.
So the thing is, I feel like I had heard a lot at that point of how great it was.
You did?
I didn't know. You know, I hadn't seen it. I hadn't heard it, but I did hear people gushing about how good it was.
Dude, I got goosebumps right now thinking about it.
Really?
Yeah, I was rolling up because you know they got you course between course.
The way that. Yeah.
Dude, it's like, da, 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 you know, when you roll it up into the big thing.
Yeah.
And then you shoot up there and the music does a little twinkly thing for a couple seconds and then it starts pulling the song. I was like, I got the little throat lump going. I was like,
yeah. They did an excellent job with that. And I think overall they did an excellent job with the tracks. Like you said, I don't have any I outright hate. You know, I definitely have my favorites. I have some that maybe are my less than favorites, but I don't dislike any of them.
Okay.
You know, I think the two that really stand out to me are Boo Cinema, which you mentioned already,
Very cool.
which is great. Just you're going through an old timey kind of worn down movie theater that has cool like visual like projection effects, and you know that's really cool. It's also a very cool area to explore in the open world, which we'll talk about, I'm sure. And then the other one is DK Spaceport, which is right in like the first cup. You got the big mechanical Donkey Kong. I popped for that one. I was like, this is cool.
That one is cool, man. The interesting part that you just kind of touched on is the open world part. So like when they're designing these courses, they thought about a lot more than they had in the past. And I think that's part of the reason I think this Mario Kart is cooler than some of the other ones, because they were looking at it about not just going one way. You know, they were looking at it like everything in that area that you're racing through. Right? There's so many different dimensions of like how cool is this. So in the product ended up being just, you know, super like thick. It just had a lot of substance to it. And it's very obvious when you're playing it, you know. So.
I love the way that the different tracks interconnect. I like the spaces in between. But that maybe kind of takes us to my main problem with the game. And that is the way that the Grand Prix are laid out. You do one race, you do 3 laps. It's great. And then you go to the next race, and 2 of those 3 laps are just getting to the next track. And so then you won on the new track.
Yeah.
And that kind of sucks. Like, I just want to, you know, I don't mind it in Knockout Tour which is an awesome mode. And I do want to talk about Knockout Tour. But it's just, I want to race 3 lap tracks. That's what I want. You know, for Grand Prix at least. Yeah, I am one of those.
I'm scared. No, I totally get that. Because there was an update that. So if you pick random,
they changed online, so now it's a lot harder to avoid those kind of intermediate things.
They almost made it impossible, because it used to be you could pick random and it would automatically throw you on a course so you could race 3 laps. Now you can't do that. They changed it. You can't do it.
They've added the ones that are connected to that pool, so now you can.
And like, no, I totally get where you're coming from, especially in like a competitive sense, because if you have those 3 laps, like you can kind of dive into that course And like,
Yeah.
I definitely would do that. You know, it's coming. Like it's just more edgy that way. But I do enjoy like I used to really like, what is the course in 8? It's like the Olympics one. And then there's there's 2 of them. Is it Animal Crossing maybe? There's a course that you go through the Olympics and it's all the different events, but there's no, you don't repeat them. You just go straight through.
Oh yeah. And there have been a couple of those. Like there's a Wario Mountain, something like that.
But like those were my favorite courses in Mario Kart 8. I liked that. I thought that was really awesome. So like the new that new style was like really enticing to me. So I really enjoyed not doing 3 laps playing. But I think that there's a place for both of those things, and not being able to have both of those things is irritating.
Like Knockout Tour is an excellent mode. For those that don't know, like it's exactly what we're talking about. You're going, but it's in one continuous thing. You're just going from the beginning of one track to the end of, I think it's like 6 maybe segments, and that is a lot of fun. I like that, and you have to kind of hit the checkpoints and be in the top 20, and then it's the top 16, and you know they kind of eliminate as you go. That really works for me. I just wish that the Grand Prix also existed the way it used to.
Yeah.
And then I could do those courses that way.
Yeah.
Have you spent a lot of time in Knockout Tour?
I have. Yep. I've done it all. And it is so frustrating sometimes.
Yeah. I feel like they just, at the very end, they sneak up there and get you.
Dude, they do. And it almost feels, I know it's not, but it almost feels like they know. Like they're like, let them get there. And then they're doing it like, blow them up.
Yep. Exactly. No, it's frustrating. But I do enjoy it. I think as a new mode, it really works, and I find myself playing it both online and offline. And I think I mentioned this to you off air. I find myself playing this game online. I feel like more than I have previous Mario Karts.
Mm-hmm. I do the same. Yeah, I play a lot online,
and people are good.
People are very good. There's a lot of duds, but there's some good folks out there ripping.
Yeah, there's always a handful of racers in every group.
I love it.
Yeah.
You know, you're never the worst. But it's interesting when you go from playing the AI, you know, the NPCs. It is interesting.
It's very different.
And you know what else is the I don't know what there's a specific, I was reading into like how they did that with the skill level and the racers and how they adjust to how you race and all that stuff. Have you looked into that at all?
No, not for this one.
It very much looks into how you race. So if you're doing a lot of drifting, they're doing a lot of drifting. If you grind a lot, they grind a lot. Like I hug corners, those things, we're all hugging, we're Ken blocking together. You know, like we are hugging corners. So when I was playing, like you said, and I'm not going to backtrack too far here, I promise, but I was coming in second and third for the first, felt like day of playing. And then, I adjusted. But where I'm going with this, though, is that I didn't realize until I started playing multiplayer, like Amanda and I had played. And then I noticed the skill level of the NPCs dropped vastly because now we're adjusting to 2 of us.
Yeah.
This is way different. Okay. So I just thought that was interesting.
So have we covered everything that this game has to offer? I think we mostly have, right?
Yeah. I mean, we could talk more about free roam, but we could do more in depth maybe.
Oh, yeah, you're right. We absolutely did not talk about the open world, and we should. So it's interesting, right? I've spent a lot of time, more than I expected to, just cruising around finding the P-Switch challenges and trying to collect the coins and all that stuff. Do you find yourself playing the open world like that?
Yeah. Well, honestly, I can't remember where all it was, but I saw one of those switches on the ground. I was like, what exactly is going on here? And then I'd collect them and nothing happened. So I was like, surely this means something. That's how I end up getting mirror mode, was just getting those over and then doing all the pumps, the piles,
So the P switches.
The P switches.
And then you're talking about you were driving over the question block.
Yeah, thing? Question blocks and then doing the switches. And I mean, it was, just in general, dude, honestly, I don't know that I would have played Freedom as much as I did if it wasn't so seamless when you just enter.
Yeah.
from a title screen. Like,
'Cause I felt like it was a chore. I didn't when I realized I had to do that to get mirror mode. I was like, I don't want to do this. Like,
oh
I just want
god,
to go through these things. And like, you're right. They make it so easy. And then once you did, and you got to do like 10 of each thing, right? I was like, okay, I kind of dig this. And I stayed in it. I didn't just go to mirror mode. I stayed in there and kept exploring.
yeah. I mean, I'm wondering how much else, if there is. I feel like we would know by now, but like if there's anything else locked behind, how many things you do and get in free roam.
I think people have gotten them all,
Yeah.
which is like almost 400 switches, I think.
Goodness Lord,
Like,
that's a lot.
yeah, I'm nowhere near that.
No, me neither.
It's fun, and a lot of them, the challenges are fun to do, and they're different. And
I mean,
some of them you had mentioned are like Super Nintendo courses. Like some of them are just those layouts, on different.
Yeah.
Like the Blue Cinema has that outside where it's the three different. I don't know what the track name is in Super Mario Kart, but it's those layouts and it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you play it and you do the coin challenges and stuff, like you will often find cool shortcuts that you can use in races. Like it makes you better at the game if you do them. So,
Absolutely.
like I learned a lot, or not learned a lot. I got to practice a lot of the new mechanics because they were asking it of me for those challenges.
Yeah.
So like I would do it. If you haven't really experienced free roam, I would definitely go in there and screw around a little bit.
Definitely. So we have not established any sort of score card for games that we talk about on here.
Oh.
So I'm just going to ask very bluntly, do you recommend Mario Kart World?
Yeah.
To somebody that has not played it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I absolutely would. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's very fun and makes good sense to play. And we were talking about the AI situation, very loosely calling it that, but that whole situation as being intimidating for us. But I mean, like, I think it's welcoming for new players too, because you always have a little bit of a challenge. But if you're getting near to the game, like, you're gonna have fun playing it. It's fun for anybody of any skill level to play.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. I would absolutely recommend Mario Kart World. I think the game is going to continue to grow. I don't think it needs to. I think if the game stayed this way, it'd still be a great game.
Yeah.
But I think, like Mario Kart 8 before it, we're going to see this game grow quite a bit. And I'm excited to see it.
Me too.
So our next topic of discussion, I'm going to give you the floor because this is a Jordan joint.
All right. Okay. So I know we were texting the other day, and I was just thinking, because we were talking at the beginning of the show. I've been playing a lot of Twilight Princess. It's kind of a weird time for me to be playing that.
Okay.
I'm not usually playing that in the summertime. I feel like I rotate between almost, I mean, I kind of feel bad to say it, but like the same games almost every year. Like I'll revisit them. And to me, it's like on my own accord. Like I'm not, like I want it for me. But really, I do it every summer, every spring, every whatever. And I've noticed this trend. So I wanted to talk about what we would kind of deem as our summer games.
Okay. So you mentioned Twilight Princess not being one of those.
Yeah. Yeah, and to save us a little bit, I won't really get into why.
Sure.
We'll save that. But I've got a couple, because there is another game I've been dabbling in, and I didn't want to mention it earlier because I wanted to kind of mention it here.
Okay.
And you know that I'm a big fan of this game. We've talked about it for many, many years.
Yeah.
And then
maybe the only people talking about it.
I don't know, because we have, we're talking about Super Monkey Ball. Okay.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
Now I'm really curious about what you think I'm talking about, but we'll get to it.
We will, I'm sure.
Super Monkey Ball. So Super Monkey Ball has always been a big summer game for me. I'm not really exactly sure why. And then obviously, I don't remember what year it was. I want to say like 2022. We saw Banana. Is it Banana Bliss HD? Banana Bliss? Banana.
Yeah, they've done a lot of re-releases. I don't necessarily know the order.
Yeah, this is really one that matters to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's 1 and 2. All remade. They even did gave a bunch of fan service. Like I absolutely downloaded the DLC with the classic soundtrack, so that when I open up the game, it's got all the music I'm used to. I mean, I listen to Monkey Ball music recreationally. That's the thing I do sometimes. Sure. So I was very happy when that was an option. But that's been a really big one for me because it's just a quick, easy. You just throw it on, you relax, you just play through it. It's very fun. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to know what your summer games were.
So I have some written down here when you kind of broached this topic with me the other day, but I'm gonna kind of go off that Super Monkey Ball vein and jump to the kinds of games that I feel like I do gravitate towards in the summer, and those are kind of those quick match, do a run. You can play it for 4 hours, you can play it for 10 minutes, or just kind of competitive things. And I think back to things like Rocket League, which launched on PlayStation Plus. It was in the summer. I remember that because it was hot. And like that was one of those. And now it's everywhere. It's on Switch. But and Rematch that just came out recently didn't quite scratch the itch for me, but it's a very similar thing where it's like you're playing these short matches, you're playing them online, and you could do one and call it a night, or you could, really invest some time in it. And I think that really works for me. Splatoon is one that I know came out, I think, right before that summer. Me and you played quite a bit of the original Splatoon.
Yeah, a lot.
Same kind of thing. EA College Football did it for me last year, where I was like, they haven't done one of these in 10 years. I'm going to get in there, and I would play a quick match here and there, and that was awesome. And then I think right now, with the past few days I've had, it's going to be Tony Hawk 3 and 4.
Yep.
Like where I can just do one of those 2-minute runs, and if I want to do more, I can, but I like that I can just pop in, do it, pop back out. It's summer. You got things going on, right?
And Tony Hawk, you made a good point when you said like it's a game you can play for a couple minutes or like 4 hours, And
yeah.
Tony Hawk's definitely one of mine as well. Specifically 3 and 4, because I feel like 1 and 2 I was pretty young still, but 3 and 4, that was like summertime. I'm out skateboarding with my friends, and I'd wake up in the morning, throw in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, watch the skate videos, get inspired, and then go outside and hurt myself. Like that was like the summer cadence. Like it's a big summer game for me as well. Yeah.
Okay, absolutely. So I kind of have a whole little list here. I have found myself, I was looking, because when you brought this up, it's like, that's such an interesting question that I don't really think of. But I just kind of had something happen where I've been wanting to play Metroid Prime 3 before Beyond comes out, hopefully later this year. And it's kind of the last one. I played 2 last year, and I played Remastered, when that came out. And so this was kind of the last one before the new one comes out. And I've been putting off. And then I saw in like a Facebook memory, it was like I had bought the trilogy for Wii a year ago. Right, leading into 4th of July weekend. And I had played 2 right after that last year. And so I started playing Metroid Prime 3. And I'm like, cool, this is going to be, my 4th of July weekend game specifically, like it was last year. And then I started thinking back. I did something similar before Dread came out. I played the original game, 2, and Super Metroid that summer. And then when, after the Switch had come out, I played Samus Returns on the 3DS in 2017. And I remember sitting outside specifically with my 3DS and playing that. And like having the bugs, all the noise, and like so that I associate with Samus Returns.
It's a summer game for you, man. Metroid's it's a summer franchise for you.
It's funny because like Dread to me is not.
No.
Because like that came out in October and I played that. And then
Spooky.
I played it again 2 years. And how long has Dread been out now? But I played it again like 2 years ago, same time of year. That's kind of a, it's spooky out. I'm going to turn the lights off.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very different atmosphere. But yeah, for some reason, some of these Metroid games have become summer games for me.
I understand, though. I mean, like I say, I won't get too deep into it, but like I'm that way with the Zelda franchise. Not all of them are summer games for me, Okay. But I mean, like very much Zelda Wind Waker, 100% is a summer game. How could it not be?
Light. There's water.
There's water. Yeah. Is that it?
Yeah.
Water. Duh.
Yeah. That's a big part of it, though.
There's boats. Boat.
Yeah.
Well, boats. No, there's boats. There's more than one.
Beatles got a boat, yeah.
Beatles got a boat. The best boat. Yeah. Pirate ship boat. Ship.
Yeah.
We got the King of Red Lions. No, yeah, there's multiple boats. But no, it's just, I think it's just the feel and the music. It's very like, it's just like that.
You're right. It's light in it. Yeah.
The light. It's gorgeous. I mean, and like I didn't want to cop out and say Mario Sunshine falls in the same bucket, but like it does. I mean, like you got that like it's very much like a Hawaii resort. You got the tropical music. It's very Well, and I mean that's another one that I played in the summertime, and I think a lot of these probably. I'm so nostalgic it hurts me, but like I grew up playing it in the summertime, so it reminds me of summertime. It reminds me of, there's long weeks where I had nothing else going on and would just plug in hours, So Sunshine's definitely one of them.
One of the things I do, which is I don't know why I do this, but I catalog when I like roll credits on a game. Right, I've been doing this for a couple of years now.
You have been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, and so I decided I'll look back and see kind of what was I playing in those summer months.
Dude.
And a trend that I noticed is I tend to not just I tend to replay old games, specifically from that era that we're kind of talking about. But one thing I do is I'll get on a thread and I'm like, I just need to play as many of these as I can. So like in 2020, I played through the original Crash trilogy. And then I played a ton of Mario games. That was what anniversary was that? That was the 35th. So that was like when Mario 3D All-Stars came out that September. But going into that, I played, you look down the list and I'm playing Mario 3, and then I'm playing World, and then I'm playing 64 and Sunshine and Galaxy. And it's like, wow, I really knocked these out in like 3 weeks.
My God.
That was
3 weeks?
Yeah.
You knocked all of those out?
Yeah. Well, and so this is early COVID, right? So like not a ton happening. There's a lot of Mario stuff going on.
Gotcha.
I was like looking down. I'm like, man, I was like 3 days later, I'm playing the next one. And, I talked about Metroid doing that summer. But even like in 2023, right before Pikmin 4 came out, I played 1 and 2. Okay. After I played Tears of the Kingdom, I played Link to the Past and Link's Awakening.
So good though.
I just did this a couple weeks ago. I played Majora's Mask and then both Oracle games back to back. Ooh. Like, so I kind of get in these moods, right? Where I'm like, I need to play as many Zeldas or whatever. Last summer, it was the PS1 Spider-Man games. So I played both of them.
I loved when I saw you doing that.
Yeah.
I love that. This first Spider-Man, well, I don't know if you want to call it the first Spider-Man game, but Spider-Man for the GameCube or PlayStation. Yeah.
I'm even going back further than that. This is PS1.
Oh,
so not
yeah.
The movie Spider-Man.
Which I only played that game as a demo. I'm pretty sure I have a demo disc.
Yeah.
I remember. But you did play through that Spider-Man game that I'm talking about, though, because I remember seeing that you were doing it.
Yeah. I have the Raimi trilogy games, 1, 2, and I don't have 3, but I need 3.
That was a great game, but I don't want to get too much into it because that's a different season for me.
Maybe. Okay. That's fair.
A great game.
So I mean, yeah, I could go on and on. Because then I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, like those handheld games I played as a kid, a lot of those I played outside and I associate with the summer.
Yeah.
I remember playing Four Swords with people outside, and it being nice out and doing all that. Pokemon, specifically Yellow. Like I remember sitting outside in our backyard on a rock playing Pokemon Yellow with like the sun beating down and just loving it. That was a great time.
I know. Oh my gosh, it was. It's just wild. I don't know. I mentioned, I had Zelda Wind Waker, Super Monkey Ball, Super Mario Sunshine. As far as Game Boy goes, honestly, I started to list them out, and then I started realizing I don't think I have. I have 2 that come to mind, but they're awful. Now they don't hold up. But most Game Boy games I associate with summertime because of the same thing that you're talking about.
Yeah.
There's just a couple that remind me of like car rides, but going for Christmas vacations.
I think that's a big element of it, right?
Yeah.
Going place summer, so you're taking that.
But it's the variable in the whole equation, the car ride. A lot of magic happened in the car ride, and Sega Game Gear was not one of them for me. So
no.
Unless something dying in the car is magical, but no, a lot of game interaction in the car. But honestly, I think GameCube, as far as summertime games, I feel like for some reason it does tend to be very GameCube heavy. And I think about Paper Mario. That's one of them. Thousand Year Door. That's a really big one. The Mario Party games, I feel like, because that's a time where you have a lot of people around. Yeah. So it was like Mario Party 8, maybe. Mario Party.
The Wii one.
No, right before it was that not 8?
The one with the microphone, 7.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
The one with the microphone, and then obviously games like Strikers. Those are big summer games. I never owned Strikers.
Play that on. on Switch Online. I haven't done that yet.
I know I haven't done it either. But you own Strikers, didn't you?
I had the second one, the Strikers Charged on the Wii. I didn't have the first one. We did have a friend that did, and that was I had only played that one a handful of times, but yeah.
I always had like that was a cousin game.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like cousin games for me were like always Madden.
Okay.
Well, like Strikers was one of them, where that was one that I was introduced to at a cousin's house. Which is so funny to me. I don't remember what comedian I was watching, but they were talking about like weird stuff that you'd always run into at your cousin's house. Did you and I talk about that? Actually,
I think so.
We did.
Yeah.
Dude, why does this keep coming up? This is like part of it. Is this part of our thing now? Be like, yep, Super Mario Strikers, cousin game.
Exactly. Yeah, we just keep looping back.
But no, it reminds me of getting together and playing with family, and it was usually in the summertime, so it was always just a joy. But yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that can crash a little bit more this year. I've been trying to make more use of my nighttime, evenings and weekends, early mornings, just associating playing some games.
Yeah. Real quick, I would not consider a summer game for me. This is a one-off thing that I did. But we, on the 4th of July, which is, recently happened here in the U.S., we watched Independence Day, the, Will Smith classic. I love that movie. I absolutely love that movie. Holds up in some ways. But what it made me want to do is immediately go play Star Fox 64. Because it has that one level that's like directly inspired by Independence Day. And so I went and I played through the whole game. I didn't go that route. I went the hard route. So I skipped that and then I had to go back and, get back to that level. But I love Star Fox 64.
Fox 64 is very good. It was very good.
It kind of, I think, works as a summer game, right? It's short. You can play it in one sitting if you want.
Star Fox.
But yeah, I was feeling the Independence Day vibes, and I was like, I gotta play Star Fox right now.
Am I having a weird memory? Did you once argue that Independence Day was a Christmas movie? Who was that?
Oh no, I wouldn't do that.
I'm really thankful for that. I'm glad that you didn't.
It literally takes place July 2nd through the 4th. It says right there.
Somebody made that argument once, and I was like, "Are we doing this? We're gonna do this."
Yeah, that was not me.
I'm glad to hear it. I think the person that actually was who I think of when I play Star Fox 64. Though he was our old friend on the podcast, Dan. You remember Dan?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Star Fox reminds me of Dan every time because in the short time we lived together, I remember he'd boot that up every so often. It was always a lot of fun,
Yeah, it just is. There's something. It's iconic, right? Mm-hmm. Like that first opening level, just all the way through it. Like I could go back to. It's a simple N64 game, but if you're asking me to like what N64 games hold up, that is one of them. It's the Zeldas, it's Paper Mario, and it's Star Fox. Like those feel as good today as they did back then.
I would have to say, as far as I didn't have this on my list, but I would put it as a summer game for me. Not Star Fox 64, but Star Fox for the Super Nintendo.
Sure. Okay.
I played that a ton growing up. I remember playing that before school quite a bit. In fact, so young that I think I was in like second grade. That when like that whole intro scene where it's like you're like watching the ship kind of fly through the thing, and then it says "scramble" on the screen.
Yeah.
I will be like, scramble what, dude? What are you talking about? Yeah, confused, but I have a lot of good summertime memories of playing Star Fox. Mario RPG is another one actually for the Super Nintendo.
So you had mentioned that. You had mentioned Paper Mario. Those to me are, as you have mentioned, some of these games maybe belong in another season for you. Those belong in another season for me. I'm sure we'll talk about that at some point down the road.
We will definitely. There's a particular season that has a lot of bangers.
Sure. Yeah. No, I think that's reasonable. I did have one more kind of. It's a little different than the rest.
Okay.
And that is summer makes me, or rather, F-Zero reminds me of the summer. And the main reason for that is I started getting Nintendo Power in 2003. I think we were in like 5th grade. And I remember specifically, it wasn't the first cover I got, because I looked this up today. I had a couple before this one. But it was one with Captain Falcon in the front, and it was for F-Zero GX, and it was the E3 like you know, they went over all the things that happened at that year's E3. And when I think of E3, when I think of the summer, when I think of F-Zero, like those things are all just kind of mixed in my head now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a look. I have it on my wall. I wanted to know.
Okay.
I love that.
I forget what it is. I was trying to think of the terminology. It says like E3 blowout or something. I don't know what it says, but you know. But that was one of the first. Again, it wasn't the first cover I had because I know I had like the Wind Waker one before that, but that was like the first time I really was cognizant of what E3 was, and the idea that they're showing what these, you know, upcoming games are going to be, and Dude, this is a place to keep an eye on for that.
I can't believe we never got to go to E3.
I know.
What a bummer.
I think the time we even could have, I think it already wasn't what it was. But,
I know, but
yeah, it is a bummer.
Man, people who got to go, how lucky they are, you know?
Yeah.
How cool that would have been.
It absolutely would have been cool. Well, if you don't have any more summer games, I think this might be a good place to wrap up the podcast. This has been our second episode of Podcasting with Power. Again, I think a little smoother than the first, a little bit. Mm-hmm. I'm enjoying doing this. Yeah, do you want to keep doing this? We've only done 2.
Let's keep going. Yeah.
Let's keep going. You can find us every week. That's when we're going to be posting this. This will be closer to the first one than these typically will be. You know, the first one came out on a Thursday. This will be a Monday. Typically, that'll be the day that you can expect a new Podcasting with Power. And we're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple. We're on all the rest. You can watch us on video, listen to the audio if you're on the go, maybe take a little jog, take us with you, whatever you want to do. You can follow us on socials. We are at Pod with Power on everything because it just made the most sense. Character limits. Turns out naming a show Podcasting with Power, which is an exorbitant amount of characters, not great for coming up with social handles. So Pod with Power is what it is. Like I mentioned at the top, we're on Instagram, we're on Blue Sky, we're on Threads. Look for us there and check us out. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We appreciate it. This has been Podcasting with Power. Bye.